Above 500 in the SEC with what's happened thus far this weekend in College Station. Vanderbilt, they'll lead it off with Mike Mancini. He has 3 of the home runs in this series. 1 yesterday, 2 of them earlier today. Colin Barcy launched the 3 homers yesterday for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Tim Corbin, he and Vandy, they're now 19 and 13 overall. And as we said, both teams now over 500 in SEC play. Both teams 6 and 5 in conference after splitting the first 2 games this weekend. Had a little rainfall between games. The reason it's a doubleheader today is expected heavy rains in the College Station area tomorrow, but a little bit of rainfall as we get this second game started here. A&M going to the right-hander, Aiden Sims. There's been a lot of good stuff from the Sunday guy for the Aggies thus far in 2026, Boomer.
Yeah, most certainly. I would say the bright spot of the starting rotation, the weekend rotation for the Aggies, has been Sims. He's polished, command is great, and he pitched at any time. But yeah, the best numbers, and he has certainly given the Aggies the best chance to win on the weekends from his starting performance of any of the 3 so far this year.
Mike Early, he and the Aggies don the red, white, and blues, which they usually do in a series finale. Second season as A&M's head coach. We were talking about it during the first game, that if you looked a year ago, Mike Early's first season, right about this point, just past the midway part of the year, A&M struggling mightily and actually fell below 500. Now you go to this spot in the season here in 2026, and the Aggies have won 24 of their first 30 games. And you know what Tim Corbin has done since he became the Vanderbilt head coach in 2003? 5 trips to the College World Series, winning it in Omaha twice in 2014 and 2019 as well. Well, somebody's got to find the kind of pitching that can slow these offenses down. You know, A&M, though, I will say this, did a pretty good job out of the bullpen in that last game. Gavin Lyons and Clayton Freshcorn nailed it down for A&M and settled things down a bit against that vaunted Vandy lineup. And now you go to Aiden Sims to start the finale, and he begins with a swinging strike against Mike Mancini.
Quick comment, I love the throwbacks from Vandy right there.
No way, it was time granted. It wasn't, and it was a ball.
Oh, that's gotta be kicking yourself if you're Sims there.
Mancini thought he was granted time, had no intent of swinging, and it was a ball high.
Yeah, got away with one.
I'll second your comment. I dig the Vandy unis.
Thank you. I mean, the socks are quality. Yeah, let's take a look. I don't know what he would decided to ask.
He's just talking through the pitch.
Yeah. Well, the way he's playing, he's probably thinking he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He kind of can. But yeah, those are clean right there. Little St. Louis Cardinals action. But yeah, very good, very timeless. Certainly approve. You know, it's hard to nail a good, coming back at you.
Might get all the way back down to the field. It does. Caromed off the roof here at Bluebell Park, and it's right back down around home plate.
It's hard to nail a good throwback. It really is, and it shouldn't be as difficult as it is, but a lot of teams try them. Tried them at a couple schools when I was there, and it just, here comes the off speed. You can see in his grip. Boom, missed it.
Stayed outside, full count to Mancini. Aiden Sims' last outing at Missouri, 5 1/3. 3 runs all earned. He got the win to improve to 5-0. And he walks Mancini to start.
It's a toughie and a good at-bat by Mancini, especially given that second pitch ordeal where he got away with giving away a free pitch and it being a ball. But Mancini's done it all. He's taken his walks, small ball, 3 jacks. He's probably been the most consistent bat, and there's been a lot of them in that Vandy lineup, but the most consistent one over the weekend, first couple games.
Sims, told you he beat Missouri last weekend. He has actually won his last 2 SEC starts. Has the unenviable task of facing Colin Barcy. Off the end of the bat and foul. Sims here on March 22nd beat Georgia. Georgia and Vanderbilt, the 2 lineups in the SEC, probably with the most power.
Yeah, the Bulldogs were on a tear up to that point too, so he slowed down some hot bats.
A little bit of a lean from Mancini, but he's back safely. But Sims cooled off Georgia just for a bit on March 22nd, 5 2/3. 2 hits, 3 runs. He struck out 8. That got him to 4-0. The Mizzou win got him to 5-0. One and 2 now to Barcy.
You know, we keep a camera here if we can on Mancini. You're taught to do that a lot of times at second base. When you don't have a fielder actively holding you on the entire time, you can move around a lot more, try and get your jump to get a stolen bag to third. But it is rare that you see someone do that at first. Because the pitcher is so quick over to the first, you know that there's going to be someone holding you on. Everyone always tries to steal from a standstill, which is certainly challenging, but it has proven over time to be the way that most runners have done it. But Mancini here, he's basically just trying to guess. And if he gets the jump and he's moving in that direction enough, he just goes. And most of the time he won't do it, and the risk is that Sims picks off the second that Mancini decides to take a secondary, I guess, over to second, and then he'd be fried. Clearly, this is the way they're lead off. Mike Mancini chooses to get his lead and potentially steal bags.
Busy at first with Mike Mancini. Enough to deal with at the plate and Colin Barcy.
Yeah, your attention, in my opinion, needs to be on Barcy right now in this 1-2 count. Such a dangerous hitter. You could slow this inning down if you get him out. Which he does.
Just did, yeah.
Which he does, and executes on off speed in the dirt. And Barcy, who's striking a lot of fear in Aggie pitchers as of last night, has been cooled off slightly. Well executed down and away, and a fist pump there from catcher Bear Harrison. But yeah, Barcy not having the day that he had yesterday. And when you have a leadoff guy on who can really run like Mancini to start off a game, going and getting Barcy's really huge.
Runner goes. Mancini's there in time, now 8 of 8 on his stolen base attempts.
Wow, how about that? And the one time Mancini decides to not go with a walking lead. He goes stealing from a standstill. Bigger lead, wider base. Pete Rose, gets the, he may have been out if Hakopian held onto that ball. Because his left arm certainly didn't touch the bag. And the ball was dropped on his shoulder. Good throw by Harrison. Good stolen bag, 8 of 8 on the year. And Vanderbilt in prime position to strike first tonight.
Yeah, Brody Johnston with an early chance to drive in a run. Three for 9 in the series is Johnston. A little bit of a late arriving crowd. That's the norm for a doubleheader when you start 45 minutes after the first game, but they're starting to fill in pretty nicely here at Bluebell Park. Pick back at second base. Mancini diving back. Chris Hakopian is right there on the ground ball.
Jeez.
Threw it in the dirt. Grahovic picked it. Johnston is an out. Mancini goes to third.
Aggie defense been suspect this weekend. There's no hiding that. Outfield been fine, but in the infield, they've had their blunders, and so is the Commodores as of game 2 yesterday. 3 errors on their end, but when you have the opportunity to make a clean play like that, it's always nice to flip it over and hit the first baseman in the chest.
Tommy Gooden down in the count. So fouled that away. Bit of an early situation. 2 strikes, 2 outs to Tommy Gooden. He's got a runner on third, and Mike Mancini, Aiden Sims, trying to keep Vanderbilt off the board and get the Aggies, his teammates, up to the plate for the first time. Vanderbilt put 2 on the board in the top of the first yesterday. A&M put 3 on the board in the bottom of the first earlier today. Chopped, that goes foul.
Keep going.
So another 2-strike pitch coming from Aiden Sims to Tommy Gooden. Kind of in off the hands. That's an easy play on the pop up to Chris Hakopian. Vandy will strand a man at third base, their first time up. Vandy a chance in the top of the first, nothing across. Here come the Aggies to the plate. Both offenses pretty prolific, 2 of the better offenses in the country, and essentially sticking with the same personnel and lineups all weekend long. And for the first time as a Vanderbilt Commodore, Aiden Stillman will go to the mound. A freshman and his first career appearance. He gets a start in the SEC at Olsen Field at Bluebell Park.
Yeah, my goodness, how about that? Welcome to college baseball. Aiden Stillman. Usually in a situation like this, you'll see someone going in the Vandy bullpen. You're probably staring at a pitcher by committee outing here from the Vanderbilt staff. Just going to see if Stillman can get him an inning or 2, maybe even just a couple batters, and then You load up your pen. Really, there's only been 4 arms used for Vanderbilt, so they could be all fueled up.
And the lineup that Stillman will face will start with Gavin Grahovac. Grahovac, a homer earlier today. So really no tweaks, no changes to either team's lineup this weekend. Grahovac, Sorrell, and Akopian due up, bottom of 1 for A&M. So Stillman, true freshman, first start in College Station. He has been working back from injury.
I'm sure there's some adrenaline pumping there in that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And he was not named the starter until we got the lineup sheet 30 minutes ago, so you wonder how he was told. If he just found out recently, if he's known for a few days, it could be, the ball could be his on Sunday, or in this case, Game 3 on Friday. But yeah, however he was told, I'm sure he was super excited just to get the opportunity, and he's going to remember it forever, most certainly. Just the feeling he had before he towed the rubber for the first time in college, let alone a deciding game in an SEC series on the road. Right now, seeing 3 fastballs and then a changeup right there at 82. Fastball's got some life on it, up to 94, 95. See if he can sit there, though, or that was just some adrenaline early on.
Into Grahovac, full count now. The home runs starting to come in bunches for Gavin Grahovac. 4 in the Missouri series. 1 on Tuesday against Sam Houston. 1 earlier today. Full count pitch.
Ooh.
Stayed on it enough, guys, out in front of off speed, 75 miles per hour, but stayed on it enough to keep the count full.
Yeah, that's tough. That's the first off speed he saw. First off speed Stillman's ever thrown in college, so he saw the changeup but hadn't seen the curveball, so he does flip it in there, 75 compared to the 95-mile-an-hour heater, and Grahovac gets a piece of it.
Sharply hit at the shortstop, Riker Waite, but he stays with it and makes the play.
There it is, save the ball maybe. I know college hitters save that first hit you get. It's the first out. Maybe you save the first strikeout, who knows, but Aiden Stillman coming in, getting Gavin Grahovac for his first batter in college.
Caden Sorrell at the plate. Oh, 1 the count. Sorrell was a little quiet in the opening game of the doubleheader. He didn't have a hit. That ended his hit streak at 12 games in a row. He did get issued some free passes, so he has been on base 24 contests in a row. He walked twice. One of them was intentional. It was actually a 3-1 count. They decided not to throw again. They put him on after that. Two and one.
Man, there's a drastically different pace than we are seeing here from Pennell on Friday night or Pennell last night and Stillman today. Just how quickly they want to go, how quickly they want to work. Each pitcher has their own pace they try and set. Now you can only go so slow in today's pitch clock. But there's some pitchers want that sense of urgency, want to put pressure on the hitter to get in the box and go, and others don't. Feels a little slower here with Stillman.
It's a true freshman making his first start. Tough lineup, tough environment. He's working back from injury. It just has the makings of it'll be a short outing for him. And he walked Caden Sorrell. So the on-base streak continues.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on in almost every game this year. He's just with how feared he is as a hitter. Not only is he a 350, 380 hitter, but he strikes so much fear in pitchers that he's going to get pitched around. So he's going to walk a lot too, along with hitting for high for average.
Chris Akopian rung up on a strike there by home plate umpire David Savage. He kind of takes a breath and walks away. I don't think he liked that strike call to put him down 0-1. Akopian hadn't had a great weekend, but we've mentioned it a few times. He's much better against SEC lefties than righties. He's 8 for 11 in conference play against left-handed pitching.
He doesn't swing and miss. Really, he doesn't. He's done it less than 10 times on the year, I believe. However, he doesn't strike out either, and so when you're going wrong, when Hakopian's not hitting the ball well, that's not meaning he's striking out. It's meaning he's not hitting the ball hard. He's grounding out, he's getting soft outs, and that's what's been going on so far this week. He's just been missing his pitch.
Not this time. Found his pitch and drove it high and deep and out of here.
Boy, right on cue. Could I not have been more wrong for that at bat? Hakopian, who really hadn't hit a ball hard the last 2 games, gets a fastball in and a pitcher's count and does not miss it. The bubbles are going early here in College Station. You said it, Will. He hits conference lefties much better than the righties, and the first chance he gets, watch this, try to speed up fastball inside on him. And that's almost like a sigh of relief right there. He crushed it, but he's had a frustrating last 2 games.
Brings the bubbles early. So the Aggies a 3-spot earlier today in the bottom of 1, put up 2 here in the nightcap, bottom 1. Usually bodes well when the Aggies get on the board first. Right now, A&M outscoring their opponents in the first inning 43-15 on the year. Opening inning usually pretty kind to them.
Well, the team that has struck first the last 2 games has won. So if that's any indicator, Texas A&M might win this game. But fortunately for the Commodores, that's not what dictates most things. Is do walk, and Vanderbilt has had double barrels going in that bowl. This inning started. You wonder how long of a leash they're going to give Stillman.
Yeah, they basically opened the game with action in their bullpen. There you see some of it, the right-hander Nate Taylor.
The stuff is certainly there from Aiden Stillman. Freshman, first start in SEC play, first start ever in college, and that fastball's living 93, 95 with a good hook and a changeup. I like him a lot. He's only going to get better as he gets more innings under his belt.
A&M trying to start up a new rally after Copian cleared everything in left field and cleared the bases. Then you get the walk, up count to Nico Partita. And now 3-1.
Just makes a world of a difference when you're not around the strike zone. And I just keep thinking back to that Friday night matchup between Pennell and Sadeo. And you just had guys throwing 90 to 93 with going as fast as they can, pounding the strike zone, forcing action, strikeouts, just a lot going on. And I think the second you start getting into guys trying to nibble, working deep into counts, walking guys, working slower, changes the whole pace of the game.
Dewar over there at first base. He hadn't tried a stolen base this season. Now he has. And he'll,
how about that?
Yeah, won't get credited for an attempt. He's got to come on back. Off and running with that pitch. A full count now to Partita. Partita's 1 for 7 of the series. The one was a big one. The homer this afternoon. Nate Taylor, the action that was in the Vandy bullpen, he has stopped, and it might suggest that he is ready.
3 or 4 pickoffs in a row there. Dewar can't go till he commits to home plate, and he does there, and he doesn't run. Stillman fires a fastball away to Partita as he fouls that off. Yeah, this certainly could be the last batter for Stillman. I don't think you're going to pull him in this count during the at-bat, but you're right. Activity is...
Well, Taylor got back up.
Yeah, just trying to keep the wing loose.
So he goes again in the bullpen. Partita, center field, tracking over Rustin Rigdon. 2 down. And here comes Tim Corbin. 30 pitches for Aiden Stillman. May have been on that type of pitch count anyway, due to the fact that he's working back from injury, and that will be all. He'll just throw the first 2/3 of an inning. Early trip to the bullpen for the Commodores. They're leaving the yard at College Station this weekend. The Aggies and Commodores, the power is on display. Vandy, 9 home runs in a little more than 2 games. Texas A&M, 8 homers in that same span. Chris Akopian just hit the most recent one to put the Aggies up 2-0 in this finale. And now the runs for the weekend are all even up at 18 apiece. Mike Mancini there for the Commodores. He's got 3 bombs this weekend. So 2-0 Aggies. Short start for Aiden Stillman on the mound, and Nate Taylor, who has been warming since the start of this game. The right-hander comes in to throw. Taylor this season, he's made 5 starts, and this is his 3rd appearance out of the bullpen. ERA elevated at 7.52. Opponent's batting average against him, 267. Blake Benderup is the first man to face Nate Taylor.
When you get into these pitcher by committee games, which is where Vanderbilt is right now, you're really just going with every arm you can. Everyone's available. You can go matchups. You can go, hey, you're just going to go till you can't go any longer. You really just have everyone ready to go and everyone available. But the reason I say that is there's really no method to what's about to go down, because Nate Taylor could find it, get hot, and go 4 or 5 innings, and you may not see that Vanderbilt bullpen going at all. But at the same time, he could go an inning or 2, and you could just, hey, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? So it's just going to be whatever they can do to keep fresh arms rolling and keep this game close. And for Texas A&M, who I would say at this point has the leg up, certainly you got your best starting arm arguably on the mound, and a decently fresh bullpen. It's not fully loaded, but if Sims can get you to the 5th, then you got to make arms work for 4 innings, as opposed to the Commodores right now trying to, mix and match for 8 or 9 innings. And Benderup just feels like he's got a hole in his bat, because he is not having the best day today, but that won't stop the Ags from tagging on a 2 spot, bottom of 1, with Chris Akopian finding his swing this series, going yard. Aggies up 2-1.
Aggies with the 2 spot in the bottom of the 1st on their Chris Akopian 2-run homer. And they go back to Aiden Sims, their right-hander on the mound. As we said, a little bit late arriving, but Bluebell Park starting to fill up quite nicely. They exited the stadium between games, and the folks had to all scan what would have been the Friday night single game ticket again to get back on into their seats. Sims starts off Braden Holcomb with a strike. It's 0-1. And he chased. Didn't have enough bat. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Neither one of these offenses really been held down much for more than an inning or 2 all series. So I wouldn't really expect that to start now, but if you're Aiden Sims and you can just get this thing through 2 or 3, keeping this Commodore offense in check, you're probably going to do a lot to their confidence and their rhythm, because they have just become accustomed to going yard about once an inning. And you got a cushion here. He's done a good job not giving away free passes on the mound this series. But there just hasn't really been one arm that's come in. I would argue late yesterday, the Vanderbilt bullpen did a great job of quieting the Aggie bats. But other than that, just feels like the bats have really prevailed versus the arms for the most part of this series.
Holcomb, shallow right. Hakopian out will make the catch. Holcomb leads the Vanderbilt team in home runs with 11. But the Commodores have come here to College Station, hit all these long balls. Holcomb doesn't have one here at Bluebell Park this weekend. He pops out. Logan Johnstone. Sims goes against Johnstone here, and Riker Waite is next. Johnstone's 1 for 8 in the series. Riker Waite 0 for 8 this weekend, so they have struggled a bit in College Station.
It's a nice pitch, 2-0 on the inner corner. Takes some guts to throw that one. He executed it.
So he's coming back. He's got the count at 2-2. Came all the way back to get him swinging.
Sims executing early here. Check the slider out. Gosh, maybe that was, what was that, a changeup? I had trouble picking up spin there, but definitely ran out of bat for Johnstone. And Sims trying to roll through this lineup 1, 2, 3 in the top of 2. Which would be a huge inning considering we've talked about this a lot, but when your offense goes and gets you some runs, getting them back in the dugout is what every pitcher wants to do and what every offense wants to keep momentum.
Waite trying to work his way aboard with 2 down. Sims, he walked the first Commodore hitter and then has retired 5 in a row.
Change up here, down and away. Yeah, when Sims is in that windup, we can have some fun here. You can really, even probably sitting on your couch right now, you can look in that glove and see what he's about to throw. Just from where that camera angle is and the high def picture we get. He throws a knuckle curve, which means he puts his index finger curved on top of the ball. So you'll be able to see that. And then he'll grab the ball with his whole palm if it's a changeup. And looks like, I couldn't tell, knuckle curve. Boom.
Just missed 1 and 2.
Let's see if we can get into that glove right now.
Ooh, right back at him. He knocked it down and just squared him up and hit him. But Sims will collect himself to throw out Riker Waite.
Sims, how about that?
Did he knock it down with his glove or the body?
I thought it was the body, but I thought I read his lips talking to Grahovac saying he got his glove. Oh, glove just gets in the way. Look at the poise. Aggies get out of it.
Back at the weekend as we're deciding this series right here, right now. Vanderbilt They jumped out to a big lead last night. A&M came back. Vanderbilt stretched the lead again. A&M came back. But one more time late in the game last night, Vanderbilt was able to stretch it out in the 8th and 9th inning. A&M had no response after that. 14-8 Vanderbilt in the opening game of the series. And game one of this doubleheader today, we alluded to it. A&M started to build a picket fence around the Commodores. A&M scored single runs in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th earlier today. Jorian Wilson, that's a fair ball, and the true freshman stays hot. He may have a triple. There may not even be a play at third. Not much of a play. He's sliding in, but well ahead of the throw. Jorian Wilson. He's now working on a hit streak that's up to 9 games in a row.
Just gets over the bag. I mean, doesn't get any closer than that. Can't get a better view than that either. And the big man who moves well. How's that for a leadoff at bat in the bottom of the second? You're right, Will. Just keeps getting hits, getting on base, forcing his will, forcing his bat in this lineup. It's nice when you don't really give the coaches an option. You get your chance as a freshman and you go take it. Wilson seems to be doing that right now.
And that means Bear Harrison has an opportunity here against Nate Taylor. Way outside. Harrison, as usual, he's been productive in this series. He's 3 for 7. He's driven in 5 runs on the weekend. Opposite field, deep to right. Bear Harrison for the 3rd time in the series. Goes yard.
The Aggies bats are off and running in game 3 this series. Bear Harrison, his 3rd jack of the series. That's a big league swing right there. That's a swing to do damage the other way. Not just pull side, which we've seen him already go over the scoreboard this series. This time he goes over the bleachers in section 12, 4-0, Texas A&M. As they're striking first here in game 3, trying to go take this series. That is all even right now.
A&M has matched Vandy's 9 homers now for the series. And it's the 9-hole hitter against Nate Taylor. Boston Kellner is up. A&M had 11 home runs in the sweep of Missouri in Columbia last weekend. 9 in a little more than 2 games back here at home against Vanderbilt. Boston Kellner's got a 3-1 count. After the bases are cleared, he's trying to start up something new.
He can just treat this as he's a leadoff hitter. And yeah, that's doing his job. You know, the momentum kind of halts when you clear the bases. It's a lot of fun, but when you're the hitter coming up next, there are no RBI opportunity unless you go yard. It's, you know, different. So you're kind of your own battery. You're trying to start things up as a leadoff and set the table for the guys behind you. And the 9-hole just did it for the top of the lineup, which is why you're probably seeing a mound visit right here. Trying to keep this game from getting out of hand because you got Grahovac, Sorrell, Hakopi, you're staring at right now with a leadoff runner on in a 4-0 game. So trying to limit damage here for the Commodores.
And Nate Taylor talking it over. Gavin Grahovac coming to the plate. In the last 5 games for A&M, Grahovac has hit 6 home runs. He's always had the power, and it was coming more in the form of doubles earlier in the season. Now those hacks that he's getting, they're not going off the wall, they're clearing the wall. You think of the home run and the power pace Sorrell is on behind Grahovac, and then you start adding what Grahovac's doing here in the last week or so, and it just gets scary with those top 2 in the order.
Yeah, most certainly, and Coach Early puts him at the top of the lineup, I believe, for that reason of, hey, when you guys get hot, we want you up to the plate as many times as you can be.
Yeah, and you think of Grahovac, Sorrell, Hakopian, 1, 2, 3 in the order. It is very much in play that it's 3 first-round draft picks. Top of your order.
Yes. I believe they're all, projected certainly top 2, potentially top 1.
Hammered on a line. Kellner's going for third. Going to be a play there, and they'll throw him out. Grahovac a base hit, but it'll wipe out the runner and Kellner as Braden Holcomb got to it, made the throw back in to get Boston Kellner.
I don't hate it from an aggressiveness standpoint. Grahovac just stays on a hung breaking ball, smokes that 108 down the line. That's a really good play by Holcomb, actually. Came around the ball, made a strike of a throw, essentially a one-hopper on the money. I saw third base coach Cliff Pennington kind of waving Kellner there early on, and that's 100% Kellner's decision if he wants to go, because he can see that right in his face. But I don't have a problem with him trying to do that. I know you're not supposed to make the first or the third out at third, but with already 2 runs this inning, I think pushing the envelope there is okay that time.
Way out on the 0-1 to Caden Sorrell. Hard one-hopper, trying to get 2 out of it. Going to have to get the tag at second base, not in time to get Grahovac. The Commodores, they turn more double plays than anybody in the SEC, and they've turned their share already in this series. Tried to get another one.
You turn this one, man, that'd be pretty sensational. That's so hard. It's crazy to say, but he almost would have been better. Gooden would have been feeding that to Riker Wade at second and then having a force back it to himself at first. Just running to the bag and having a tag play at second just is a lot more challenging. But considering where this inning was 4 pitches ago, say that Nate Taylor could be pretty happy getting out of this one just with 2. Giving up 2 if he's able to go get Hakopian here.
Well, Hakopian, we've talked about it. He hits the left-handers a ton, and he's got a homer off the lefty Stillman already in this game, but with Nate Taylor in, he's got to go back against the right-handers. Got to the backstop. Grahovac advances. That might be a pass ball on Corbin Reynolds. Okay, he just went right through the mid on a pitch just off the plate. Yeah, I think that's a pass ball.
I think so. Every now and then that'll happen to a catcher when they try and frame it. So they try and just move their glove as little as they can and still catch the ball because it looks better to the umpire, and then you just misjudge it. That is a nice pitch right there. Painted outside and a hitter's count. versus a dangerous hitter. Base open here. And I'd be careful.
Stick with a full count.
But these are all things that, when I'm mentioning situational hitting, like these are things that the hitters should be thinking as well. And I'm really speaking from a hitter standpoint. If I'm Chris Akopian, in my mind, I have to know there's a base open and I'm a dangerous hitter and he doesn't want to throw me a fastball. Doesn't mean you guess, but you're aware of it.
That'll get out of play onto the east lawn, which is full on that lawn tonight.
Started to fill in.
Turned into a very good crowd.
Yeah.
Another full count pitch coming to Chris Akopian from Nate Taylor. Nice pitch, got him on the outside corner. But the Aggies get another homer, this one from Bear Harrison.
Harrison is third of the weekend. Fastball away, he's on it, smashes it, extends the Aggie lead from 2 to 4. Aggies are hitting the ball.
Gonna get a setting sun soon in College Station and then play the rest of this one under nightfall. The Aggies have a couple of 2-run homers in the first inning from Chris Akopian and the second inning from Bear Harrison. So we're going to the third and the Aggies up 4-0 in this series decider. There's 2 finals in the SEC today. One of them is the game we played earlier. Also in Norman, Oklahoma beat Alabama 4-2, so the Tide and the Sooners, they are even up at 1 game apiece in that series. A lot of action starting tonight. You got one game right now that's getting late in Knoxville. LSU leads Tennessee 6-4 in the 8th inning, opening game of that series, and it's 2 proud programs that need an SEC win. LSU 4-5 in conference play. Right now, Tennessee just 3-6 in league action. We talked about last weekend at length when Vanderbilt swept the Volunteers, walking off all 3 games in their final at bat. Aiden Sims right here against Corbin Reynolds. Now check swing, and he got him on 3 pitches.
Sims still nasty. Working through this Vanderbilt lineup like no starter has yet from A&M. Given that 4-run cushion, but executing 3 pitches, getting ahead in counts. This has been Aiden Sims most of this year for Texas A&M. It is nice to have. I mean, every coach has a different mentality. That one's hit high, not super well.
It's off the bat of Rustin Rigdon into the glove of Caden Zarrell. So one time through the lineup for Aiden Sims, he allowed that walk to start the game, then cruised through the rest of them, and now the Commodores will see Sims for the second time.
There's always been this notion in college baseball that your best starters go on Friday night. And I think that still holds true for the most part, but every now and then you'll see coaches go with different starters for different reasons on their weekend rotation, and I think there is something very comforting knowing that you have your best or one of your best arms on a Sunday. Because those Sunday games often, seem to carry the most weight. You're deciding a series, you're trying to fend off a sweep, finish a sweep. And the Aggies have played very well on Sunday so far this season.
Sims got to get through the hot-hitting Mike Mancini if he wants to go 3 up, 3 down here. Mancini, he was that walk to start the game back in the top.
Mancini really proven to not have many holes in his swing. I talked about Tommy Gooden's approach and how he turns and coils that front side right there like you're seeing Mancini do. Really stays loaded for a while and then unleashes like that. And another hit. He's finding a way to get a hit in every area of the field this series.
As of right now in this game, he's been Vanderbilt's only base runner, walking a single.
And look at this, first knock given up from Sims, and just kind of a rollover. 3-hopper through the infield, 2-hopper through the infield, but Mancini has shown that he'll have power to all fields, and he's been a base hitter to all fields. He's taken his walks, he's dropped a bunt down. Fun hitter to watch for sure. Stole a bag. He certainly had Aiden Sims' attention last time he was on first.
8 for 8 on his steal attempts this season now. Long train horn in the distance. Barcy, first pitch to him, chopped foul. Hadn't guessed any engines this weekend. You want to give it a shot? Well, we're a little late on that.
1.
How about you just count them?
Oh.
There's 3 there.
I got this wall in front of me. Got a bad view.
I'm just saying, came into view before we got to guess, and you see 3 roll by.
I know. Gave you the chance to look good.
Yeah, a little late, trying to pull the trigger there. Barcy's down in the count 0-2. Sims, that pick attempt, he threw it in the dirt. He wants a new baseball. Aiden Sims out of Forney, Texas. That's in the dirt, and Mancini was going, and he'll get second base easily because that ends up in the dirt and going all the way back to the netting as it hopped up. So he's easily got second base. Barcy a 1-2 count, but now he's got a teammate in scoring position. Boston Kellner ends the inning. Commodores strand Mancini at second base. 4-0 Aggies on to the bottom of the 3rd. Vanderbilt, a look at their season. It's been tough on the road for them, away from home. They played in some pretty good neutral site weekends in non-conference play. They've gone to Globe Life Field in Arlington, the home of the Rangers. They've also gone to Vegas for 3 games. Through all that, they came out of it just 1-5. But in conference play, won the series at home against LSU, got swept at Mississippi State, and then swept Tennessee last weekend. And you move it over to the Aggies, starting to get hot. A&M 24-6 overall. You see they've won 7 of their last 8 games. They're coming off that sweep of Mizzou a week ago. They also, Mike Early and the Aggies, they've played at Globe Life Field, the home of the Rangers. Vanderbilt did it to open the season. A&M went up there to Arlington in week 3, non-conference action against Virginia Tech, UCLA, and Arizona State. A&M beat Virginia Tech, lost to top-ranked UCLA, and then beat Arizona State. That's actually showing up as a pretty good win right now for A&M. The Arizona State Sun Devils, they are playing very well in the Big 12. That's going to be a resume booster by the time it's all said and done, or at least appears to be trending that way. The Aggies that win over Arizona State in their final game up in Arlington. Jake Dewar at the plate. Base hit through the right side.
Dewar, second hit of the weekend for him, just turns on a hung spinner right there, hits it to the 4-hole. Jake Dewar's not someone that's gonna wow you a whole lot with his bat, unless you absolutely love watching someone with a good two-strike approach, which I personally do. Dewar's got my favorite one on the Texas A&M team, but he's there for his bat to ball, his patience, his willingness to take walks, and he's also a 300 hitter. Need a guy like that in your lineup, most certainly. Now Partita, on the other hand, now that is a freshman that will wow you along with Jorian Wilson. He's fun to watch. Very highly touted. I expect good things, big things from him in years to come.
A&M gets the lead man aboard in the second straight inning. One frame ago, Jorian Wilson led off with a triple. And then he came home on Bear Harrison's homer right after him, and now you get the single to start the bottom of the third from Jake Dewar. Nico Partita earlier was a fly out to center field. Does the crowd get what they want? A 4-pitch walk and the famed ball 5 chant. Nope. Nate Taylor does not comply.
Goes with the off-speed 3-1 out of respect for the power from Partita. More free passes so far. A plethora of them issued in game 2 from the Vanderbilt Commodores, and so far in game 3, that was at least number 4, the 4th free pass issued, and oh boy, do those add up.
Yeah, and I'm looking back at the weekend here. That's the 20th walk issued by Vanderbilt pitching, if you combine it all here in College Station. And that will be it for Nate Taylor. Vandy will be on their 3rd pitcher, barely 2 innings in. Tomorrow, Ole Miss and number 21 Florida finish up their big 3-game series in Gainesville. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Last night it was Ole Miss winning in Gainesville. And they'll have game 2 tonight and that finale on the network tomorrow. Luke Guth is in the ball game now. Stillman, Taylor, and Guth for the Vanderbilt Commodores. And there is nobody out in the 2nd inning.
Well,
a 3rd inning, 2 innings in.
Yeah.
2 innings plus 2 batters. Vanderbilt goes to their 3rd pitcher.
The Aggies, the last 2 innings, have set the table early on. A big swing in the first from Akopian, which got the Aggies off and running. But Vanderbilt putting themselves behind the 8 ball in the last couple of half innings. Blake Bender up, though. Man, could he use a good hard at bat right now. Good swing, barreled up, something to feel good about himself. He's had a rough series, but like Akopian, just almost feels like one swing makes everything get better. Start feeling right. That's it right there. You can find, yeah, Benderup's a guy who certainly goes, you know, he can get hot and cold real fast, but when he's going wrong, man, he's just not hitting the mistakes. As for most guys, but it seems like it's magnified with Benderup.
just a bit inside, 2-1. He barrels one up. Bender up. Blasts it out of here to left over the scoreboard. 3 innings, 3 homers for the Aggies. This is a 3-run shot, and it's 7-0.
like Hacopian, that's almost like a relief swing for Bender up, and I think I've reverse jinxed them both in just this game 3. Hacopian and Bender up haven't got it going. That has changed in this game 3. And look at this swing by Bender up right here, 111 off the bat. Really nothing to write home about from Bender up this series, and that all changed right there as the Aggies' 3rd inning in a row with a bomb extending that lead 7-0.
And that was the first man to greet Luke Guth with a Ruth-like shot over the scoreboard.
That was probably the truest definition of a missile that you're going to see off a bat, and certainly that we have seen this series out of all, let me see if I can remember, 19 home runs in this series.
Yeah, the Aggies have now surpassed the Commodores in the home run department. 10 by A&M, 9 by Vandy.
Yeah, out of all 19 home runs, that was the truest rocket, shot, missile, you name it, that came off anyone's bat. I mean, that was still going up at that clock on top of the scoreboard, and 110 at that angle with that wind. Man.
Hacopian 2-run shot, Harrison 2-run shot, Bender up 3-run bomb. And there's your story and the scoring. Guth gets a strikeout of Jorian Wilson, 1 down in the bottom of the 3rd. That'll bring Bear Harrison back up.
Good bounce back there by Guth. I mean, come into the game and you're greeted with that swing from Bender up, and then you got Wilson staring at you. Good next batter by Guth right there. Slow things down, get your first out of the inning of the series, because you got plenty of more power and scary bats to go face. So that'll settle you in right there.
Let's go, Guth.
Man, you don't know the total opposite of the games that we've been seeing. Georgia, Mississippi State right now, bottom of the 6th, 2 total hits. 2 total hits.
And it's not like those are bad lineups.
No, not at all. Georgia's one of the best in the country, if not the best.
Boomer called that up on the iPad during a break. That's a hard hit ball by Harrison, but throw in the dirt by Brody Johnston. Mistake by the Vanderbilt defense, so Harrison will run.
Yeah, those are killer free passes, whether it's on the mound or errors in the field. Did the hard part, made the play, and oftentimes when you have just a little too much time, you get out of your typical routine and how you step through and fire the ball over there, and that can cause you to be off on your throw a little bit.
But it's all throwing errors today, Boomer, for Vandy.
Yes, it is.
2 by pitchers, 1 by the catcher, and that one by Brody Johnston at 3rd base. Here's Boston Kellner. But yeah, during a break, you called up that Georgia-Mississippi State game on your iPad. It's 1-0 Mississippi State in the 6th. What do you think? 15,000 at Duty Noble Field tonight? Sure looks like it.
Yeah, it's there's not an empty seat, and at first I was thrown for a loop because they showed a foul ball, and it just doesn't look like a collegiate stadium. you have to double take when you see fans wrapping around the outfield, double deck, and hotels and whatever else they got.
That's what gets me, the hotel in left field.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite the scene, quite the atmosphere, most certainly.
You played there in 2016 with the Aggies. Didn't you say you left with like a plate of ribs and a barbecue sandwich, and you started passing it out on the bus?
They treated the opposing team well after berating you for 3 games, but they have such a party in that outfield, man. They really do, and they cook great food. You could smell it all game. I don't know how I got to chatting with them, but maybe in pregame got to talk with some of the fans out there. Great spot. I mean, can't say enough good things about that baseball atmosphere there.
Vanderbilt felt the brunt of it a couple of weeks ago. A&M's going to host Mississippi State to close the regular season in May.
Yeah, right now, top 5 matchup, Georgia 5, Mississippi State 4.
And Georgia won last night in a 1-run game. Mississippi State leading a 1-run game today.
But yeah, I mean, think about the difference. Their game's probably going by at a 2.5-hour pace, maybe quicker. I think Aggies and Commodores have been at 3:15, 3:30 every game. About 20 runs per game, it feels like.
Boston Kellner keeps the offense going. Base hit back up the middle. 2 aboard with 1 down.
Up the middle, up the middle, up the middle. You cannot go wrong living up the middle. They don't put a fielder over second base for the most part, so it's a good spot to be. Kellner, haven't seen a ton of good swings from him this series, as you mentioned. First time not getting on base all year last night. And then you turn the lineup over. Man, it's just ruthless through this lineup.
Here's Grahovac.
Well, you feel like you're in the meat of the Aggie lineup when Harrison's at the plate and Wilson's at the plate and Bender up. So, you're actually 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it turns over and it's like, wait a second. We got these next 3 guys to face? It's a good pitch.
1-1 now to Grahovac. Luke Guth from the stretch with 2 runners on. Grahovac to center field. Backing up, Rigdon on the track and right in front of the wall. Brings it in.
Wow. Totally missed that ball. Grahovac only hit that at 99 miles an hour off the bat, which to get out to center field, usually you need about 105 at least. But with this wind, you just don't know. And it got up there that kind of heard a roar from the crowd, and then it goes quiet because they're tracking the ball and the outfielder in the wind. And I feel like that's probably the 5th ball that's been caught top of the wall, middle of the wall this series.
A lot of them in dead away center field.
Yeah.
In the first game earlier today, Caden Sorrell, he had to feel for the wall and straightaway center to make a catch. Sorrell's catch was off the bat of Tommy Gooden earlier today. Made a sliding catch also in the gap, showing you how he can cover ground. And we mentioned it at the time that Mike Early feels his defense gets overlooked because he's such a good hitter, but he can man center field. He can run balls down. Two and 1 to Sorrell.
It's a beatdown. This lineup is a beatdown on pitchers. And Vanderbilt, the Commodores offensively have been a beatdown on the Aggies really until the middle innings of game 2. But the Aggie offense is continuing to put pressure on this bullpen.
Sorrell looking for RBI number 50 on the year. With Bear Harrison running over there at third base, he'd like to bring him home. That would give him number 50.
50? That's a ton. Is he leading the conference?
No, he doesn't have the lead. Swing and a miss. Won't get to 50 right here. He'll have to find it in another at bat. The Aggies get a 3-run shot that inning. 3 innings, 3 homers.
Vanderbilt gets it right. Rough start to this series for him. Not anymore. 110 over the scoreboard. Aggies continue to build on that lead.
A&M lost last night, but they're looking to sweep doubleheader and claim the series. And they are swinging the bats in the finale. It's a little odd this weekend. A lot of series moved up, as we've explained, due to it being Easter weekend. But you're so used to coming to the ballpark on a Friday night and getting a series started. Here we are on Friday night, and we're closing it out. And if you work a lot of college baseball, and
Will does,
you don't really know what to do with your Saturdays and Sundays.
That's true. I'll be watching some college baseball tomorrow.
Plenty of games tomorrow, and then there's 2 on Easter Sunday.
And then there's a little golf. You think as a sports fan, when the Super Bowl's over and football comes to an end, a lot of times I feel like I don't know what to do with myself.
Well, you know how conflicted I think you're going to be next weekend? A&M Texas, big series here at Blue Bell Park.
I know what you're going to say.
Guess what it coincides with?
Little golf.
Little Augusta golf. National, my friend, the Masters.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
Yeah, that's
final round on Sunday.
Oh, we're doing the Sunday game.
When we're here for the Sunday finale between A&M and Texas.
What time's that game going to be, you know? A 1?
It's a 1 o'clock start.
Come on, give me 1. Sir. I could deal with 1.
It is indeed 1. SEC Network and ESPN2, the 2 nights before, we're on Plus, the A&M and Texas series.
Well, if anyone is tuning in and you hear me kind of drifting off, it's probably because the iPad's got golf on in here. Oh, high sky. It's kind of hard to see that ball.
That's that tough sky. A little twilight. Chris Hakopian fully aware of it and has no trouble with it. How about Aiden Sims so far? I mean, when you're talking about the home runs and the Aggies a 7-0 lead, but this is a Vanderbilt offense that's been swinging it quite nicely this weekend, but Aiden Sims has cooled them off.
He has, and you wonder, this Vanderbilt team has come back, and you talk about that Tennessee series. Like they are no stranger to being down, finding a way to go win a game, but at some point, can you suffocate those bats enough and put enough offensive pressure on them to where their at-bats aren't as meaningful and you don't get the brunt of that offense that we've seen most of this series? Because Sims right now has been dynamite, and he's got support offensively. And right now you're 12 innings in on a long day.
Let's go, Goody.
If you're Texas A&M and you know what this Vanderbilt team has been through, especially in the last weekend, you need to keep them down. If they get any life and they get into this Aggie bullpen, can get Sims out of there, then there's going to be a ball game. And if you're a Commodore, you're just any way we can get Sims out of here. Got to get to the bullpen.
Inside pitch, Tommy Gooden couldn't handle it.
Yeah, two of those. You wonder if they're seeing something there under the bat, because I'll tell you one thing, Tommy Gooden has not missed many pitches that he has he has swung at this series, and I think he's got 5 or 6 knocks. So he's sure is doing something right. And it is fun to kind of look at when these Commodore players come to bat, toe the rubber. You see where they're from. My goodness, everywhere around the country. Texas A&M, I guess now their reach is a little further than just Texas and southern states, but Vanderbilt's northeast, Tommy Gooden, Thousand Oaks, California, everywhere in between.
So 2-2 to Tommy Gooden. Sims 3 strikeouts so far. Gooden stays in there. He got Gooden to pop up to second base back in the first inning. He's gotten 3 pop-ups to his second baseman, Chris Akopian, and 3 1/3 innings Sims has. Gonna go full now. Vanderbilt looking for a 1-out base runner. Mike Mancini is the only Commodore that's been on base so far in this game. Mancini's been on twice, a walk and a single. No other Commodore has reached. Still the case, and it's the 4th strikeout for Aiden Sims. He gets Tommy Gooden.
That's nasty. Just under the bat. All 3 strikes versus Gooden in and under that bat. Look at this. It's like a little cut action. Looks good till it's not. You swing over the top, come away empty.
Holcomb is one of those pop-ups to second base. Oh, breaking ball way out. Pretty much fooled Holcomb. He was nowhere close. Sims is trying to go out and get his 3rd consecutive SEC win. He beat Georgia, beat Missouri last weekend. He's out in front of Vanderbilt here tonight, and he's trying to retire the Commodores in the top of the 4th, keeping them off the board. 1-2 to Holcomb. Check swing, didn't look like he went around, and first base umpire Vic Carell says it's a 2-2 count, play on. One thing about the A&M starting rotation, it's been the same all season long. None of them had a whole lot of experience as far as a starter's role. You had Shane Sadeo, who was coming off Tommy John surgery, so he missed all of last year. Then you had Weston Moss, who had pitched before, but most of it was out of the bullpen. And then in the case of Aiden Sims, prior to this year, it was 6 total appearances his freshman season. And now he has taken a starting role and run with it.
Fastball here, cutter.
And a fly ball to center field, and Caden Sorrell waiting on it. That ends the inning. Aiden Sims continues to cruise. The Aggies out in front, going to the bottom of the 4th. Some of the ranked matchups The SEC series this weekend, top 25 against top 25. In Starkville, it's 2 top 5 Bulldogs against each other. Georgia winning last night, and they were even up a moment ago in the late innings. Mississippi State and Georgia tonight. Arkansas is sliding. Razorbacks have lost 5 in a row after dropping the game to Auburn an evening ago, and it's getting late today, and Auburn is winning in a close one. Alabama and Oklahoma, they are a final from earlier today. Oklahoma winning today, Alabama winning last night, so their series is even, and they'll decide it tomorrow in Norman and Boston. Or excuse me, Chris Akopian. Hit that hard off the bat, but the play is made by Brody Johnston. That'll bring up Jake Dewar. Got another game that's just gone final. First game of the series between LSU and Tennessee in Knoxville. LSU wins 7-5. That gets LSU to 5-5 in the league. Tennessee drops back to 3-7 in conference play.
Other than Mississippi State, I guess I would say Texas and Georgia, it does seem like a lot of the conference is up for grabs. Someone's going to sweep the next weekend. They're doing the sweeping. And we were just talking about Alabama. Alabama's 17th in the country, and 3 weeks ago they got swept by Kentucky. And they went swept Florida.
Swept Auburn.
And then they went, yeah.
I mean,
it is really up there.
It's wild.
Now we'll see if the Mississippi State, Texas, and Georgias of the conference are going to keep on the track they're going, which would keep them, top 5, top 8 in the country. But right now they seem to be the top 3, I'd say. But at the same time, the SEC's got like 10 teams in the top 25, so it's not like they're all just kind of beating each other up and no good. It's just no one is really sticking to the top, I guess.
Dewar just walked against Guth, and Dewar has been on base all 3 times tonight. Walk, single, and walk in that order. Here's Nico Partita. Well, Mississippi State, I've been able to see them in person one time this year. When A&M went up to Arlington to play at Globe Life Field for those 3 games. Mississippi State was up there too. And I came away from that weekend thinking they are very much for real. They played a game on Sunday, the last day up in Arlington.
They play UCLA?
Number 1 UCLA, and it was about as good a game as I have seen in a very long time. Mississippi State at 3 different points was basically moments away from winning the game. They never could make the last play to get it finished, and eventually UCLA beat them in extra innings. Now, you don't enjoy that as much when you're going to play the Sunday night game, A&M and Arizona State, and that one before you is going 4.5 hours and extra innings, and you realize you're not getting off the field in Dallas till almost midnight, and Partita just lays into one, make it 4 innings and 4 homers for the Aggies. Partita has done it again today.
We talk about the talented freshmen on this team, Partita being the ringleader, and boy, when you watch a swing like that, you sure know something special. Just look at this, synced up, timing. It's beautiful for an 18-year-old. He can really do it all. He's a fun watch. And you said it, Will. 4 innings, 4 home runs. All home runs, I believe, with runners on. And the Aggies doing work here against the Commodores just in 3 1/3 inning. Up 9-0.
Yeah, for so long this weekend for both teams, it had been the solo shots. But yes, A&M getting guys on before these bombs tonight. Akopian in the first inning, 2-run shot. Harrison in the second, 2-run homer. Bender up the blast in the third inning over the scoreboard was a 3-run homer, and then Partita right there, 2-run shot. And coming into this game for the weekend, Vanderbilt had out-hit A&M 28-13. A&M 8 hits tonight. In this finale, Vanderbilt just 1. Aggies have turned the table on them. Or flipped the script, whatever phrase you're more comfortable with.
Well, and considering the hitting conditions, which we have talked about all 3 games, wind is certainly blowing out to left center and pretty much anything but straightaway right. To hold a team like Vanderbilt to 1 hit and 0 runs, it's not like it's bad conditions to hit. You are holding them to essentially doing nothing with the bats, because if you just put a decent swing on a ball, you got a chance today. So to only have 1 hit shows you what Aiden Sims is doing on the mound so far and the lack of good swings and hard hit balls that Vanderbilt has had.
Bender up a strikeout looking. There's 2 down in the inning.
He's had a couple called a little below the knees that he doesn't like. He thinks his height should buy him a little more room there. Let's see if this is one of them. Hey-oh. It's a little low there. And I think that's frustrating on when the dugouts can see it, because you know that's the one you really can't see from the side, as you can see up and down. And I think that was one we saw some chatter on from the A&M dugout last time and this one. But in that situation, you credit Corbin Reynolds. Great job catching that, making it look like a strike. It's a catcher's job.
Jorian Wilson, a 2-1 count. Wilson tripled back in the second. Right over the bag at first base, and then got those wheels turning, and there really was no play at third base. He was in there quite easily.
That's why you play him right there.
And but he couldn't make the throw. Mancini threw it away, and then Tommy Gooden took the brunt of that big freshman body, and Gooden is not getting up quickly.
And you could even tell that Wilson tried to let off there, knowing there was going to be a collision. It could have been more violent than that. So if you think about it, where Mancini threw that ball is going to cause Gooden to kind of be stretching out more toward right field than he typically would. And the second you throw that offline, which Mancini does, he pulls him over the line right there.
And then that's 240, a big tight end, just barreling over you at first base. If you're Tommy Gooden, you had to just take it. That's another throwing error by the Commodores.
Yeah, just right when Coach Tim Corbin was mentioning to us that defense had really been solid. Some of those errors were pitchers.
And you will get a new Vanderbilt pitcher. 9-0 A&M.
Back here, Olsen Field at Bluebell Park, the Aggies lead the Commodores 9-0. Bottom of the 4th. Luke Guth has exited the game on the bump, and that'll bring about Alex Kranzler from New Jersey, the junior righty, going to be called upon to toe the rubber and try and slow down this A&M offense. Inflated ERA, 20 innings, so plenty of experience for Kranzler. He's going to be charged to face Bear Harrison. That doesn't sound very fun right now. Harrison, feels like most of this Aggie lineup has done plenty of damage this series with the bats. And this was Bear earlier in this game, which is an absolute bomb to right center. Talk about staying on a baseball there and igniting the offense, which that right there was in the second inning. So jump the Aggie lead from 2 to 4 as they try and go win a series here versus the Commodores in game 3. But Harrison seems to be getting something right here at the plate. Only hitting, I think, 230 or 240.
Jumps all over the first pitch from Kranzler.
He was hitting 233 going into this series, and he's probably bumped that up closer to 280 or 290 just alone in the last 2 days, swinging it well. And when Bear Harrison, your 8-hole is going well with 3 bombs and 5 or 6 hits over a weekend, that'll really help you stay hot as an offense if your 8, 7, 8-hole are doing what they're doing.
Boston Kellner. With that base hit a moment ago, Bear Harrison's up to 271 on the year.
All right, that was 10 points, a little high, but a 40-point jump in 2 days, that'll get you excited, light a fire under you. And I'm telling you, he was my sleeper this year for Texas A&M to lead the team in RBI and really have a big season, because I really do love his approach. He wants to work middle of the field. He wants to work the right center gap. I think that's a healthy long-term approach. He just early on was missing way too many pitches that he should be getting to, fouling them off. And so when he gets it going, you could really look up and see 7 or 8 bats in this lineup that could be 4-hole on most teams in the country, and that's scary.
Four-pitch walk to Boston Kellner. They're going to be loaded with Aggies, and Kranzler will also have to deal with this. Well, they don't stop the chant just because you stop the game to talk.
Yeah, I think 8 is the ball that's the loudest.
7 got pretty loud here, my friend.
Is that Max? Right.
Max Wright, former football player's in on it here today.
All right.
Grahovac swinging. That pitch may have been out of the zone, not sure. Just swinging away. Thought he may have the take sign on just so we could keep listening to that, but Aggies get another homer in that inning. That's 4 homers, 4 innings. This one from Nico Partita.
Yeah, no doubter from the freshman Partita. He knew it. We all knew it. Aggies offense continues to roll. Aggies comfortably ahead here in the top of the 5th inning. Aiden Sims back on the mound. As he goes back out, starting. He has been cruising in his start today. The slider has been working. That's been the out pitch, but he's been working ahead in counts, not getting behind in them, so giving himself a great chance against this Vanderbilt offense that's been really strong the first 2 games. So far, only 1 hit given up by Sims. No runs, 4 punch outs, 4 innings out for the 5th, but that pitch count is only at 68, so I really would like to think that as long as he continues to get outs and keep this game comfortably ahead for the Aggies offensively, that he's going to stay out there a little longer. Could probably get up to 90 or 100 pitches. But don't sleep on the Commodores offense. I don't think anyone would or should, especially with their numbers this year statistically, but you got to keep that foot down if you're Texas A&M to keep them from having any life, because it is all Aggies. And the momentum is all here at Bluebell Park for the red, white, and blue in this game 3. I know you loved that one.
You don't often hear that when you refer to the Aggies.
No one cheers against red, white, and blue, right?
No.
I will say I'm not going to speak out against the red, white, and blue. Never would. Neither would you. However, I don't want to see that on Sunday against Texas. I would like to see maroon versus burnt orange, just as a purist and a lifelong Texas A&M fan and alum. I think that would be healthy.
I'm purist any weekend.
Really?
If your colors are maroon and white, wear maroon and white. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't fault it. Can't fault it at all.
You can do variations of that.
Yeah, mix and match here and there.
Yeah.
But I do think when your rival's in the other dugout, most people you want to, see the two colors going at it. So.
Skied toward Dewar, and he will easily make the catch. That was off the bat of Logan Johnstone. There's been plenty of reasons here recently to root for the red, white, and blue. I mean, you had the Winter Olympics, the hockey games, World Baseball Classic.
Wow.
You got the World Cup coming up this summer. It's right here in the U.S. Houston and Dallas are going to host matches.
I heard, this is kind of on topic, but a little bit of a strange scenario I heard. That ball's hit well. Maybe the best one hit today from a Commodore in this game. Oh, gosh.
Sorrell made the catch. Riker Waite gave it a ride. Dewar sliding on the track, and Sorrell right over him made the catch.
Golly, man, this could have been trouble right here. You wonder if there's just a little late communication. It's right in the middle of both of them. Someone's waiting on the other one to call it. Sorrell calls it, and Dewar's got to bail. You're always giving way to the center fielder. He gets priority over everyone. Even if Dewar could have made that play, I think it's better that he knows that someone's flying in there and he can bail. Sorrell knows that's his the whole way. At least he can move with a little more conviction. But that's a tough play right there. And you certainly don't want to see a collision in any scenario when guys are out there running at each other. But yeah, I heard that there's a cricket facility about 40 miles out the College Station here on the way to Houston. I heard that there was like a full-blown, like a dome that's going to be built for the cricket sport and market that's outside of Houston, but that it's one of the main uses is for the Olympics. They may do their cricket playing.
You mean when the Olympics come to L.A.?
L.A.
2028,
yes, they may do that in Houston or just outside of Houston.
I know the facility you're talking about.
Yeah, that's an outdoor one.
To College Station and from College Station, you pass it.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be like extremely nice, but I've heard one of their goals was to get that and to get the Olympics to go to it.
Well, I believe, some of L.A. can't necessarily host everything. I think the softball part of the 2028 Olympics will be held in Oklahoma City.
Oh, yeah.
Where they hold the Women's College World Series because it's the best facility, and L.A. doesn't necessarily have one that would accommodate it. Mac Whitcomb, the pinch hitter, delivers the second hit of the game for the Commodores.
Looks like he kind of cues this. Does he get? Yeah, he was off that ball a hair, but just catching it enough off the end where it wouldn't hit too hard, but a fall in there. Pinch hit knocks, always fun.
After Whitcomb works his way aboard, Rustin Rigdon at the plate. First time Rigdon came up, fly ball to center field. But just 3 times a Commodore has gotten on so far. Mancini twice, and just a moment ago there, the pinch hitter, Mac Whitcomb.
Velocity's still there for Sims, 81 pitches in. Something you always look for is how's that fastball maintaining through 60 or 70 pitches into the middle innings.
Coming in, Dewar, nice effort, couldn't quite haul it in, diving to the turf, it kicked away. Whitcomb goes to third base and all the way around to second, Rustin Rigdon. Likely a flat-out double.
Looked like it was going to be close the whole way, and that looked like every single inch Dewar could get out of himself. He did. Oh boy. Adrenaline pumping. That oftentimes you don't realize that you may be a little dinged up after something like that.
Jason Kelly, the Aggie pitching coach, out of the dugout. Sims has been brilliant. The last 2 have managed to loop a couple of base hits off of him. Aiden Sims, with what he's done today, it is now 44 strikeouts on the year against just 12 walks. Sims has now worked in 41 innings. Opponent's batting average against Aiden Sims coming into today was just .216. And then you have Vanderbilt with just the 3 hits tonight. Mancini has one of those. He's got a chance to put the Commodores on the board. Shift on to the right side. There's essentially no shortstop in the Aggie defense. Grahovac plays it and flips to Sims, and the Commodores will strand 2. Still shutout ball being tossed by Aiden Sims. Innings at the plate, 4 home runs for the Aggies. 2-run shot in the first inning, Chris Hakopian. 2-run shot in the second inning. Opposite field, Bear Harrison. 3-run homer, launched over the scoreboard in the third inning off the bat of Blake Benderup. And Nico Partita in the 4th, 2-run homer. Halfway through this one, the nightcap of a doubleheader. And A&M now 11 home runs in back-to-back SEC series. Did it at Mizzou. They've done it here this weekend against Vanderbilt. They may not be done tonight. Caden Sorrell, you know, he'd like to get in on the act. He's the Aggie that has more home runs than any of them, 16 this year. 49 RBIs. Down in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, quickly down 0-2. Second, they got a strike on Sorrell. Vanderbilt brought over Brody Johnson way over by second base, so the shift is on. The second that they can and believe that Sorrell won't bunt or won't go the other way, per the analytics. Yep, they bring that shift, so you can see in the grass behind second base, that's Brody Johnson. He just ran all the way over there from third.
Sorrell with a knock. He's heading to second, and he's in.
It's good baseball right there. That's great baseball. Infielders are out of position due to the shift. You know it's going to be a bang-bang play at second, but with all the moving parts, look at this. That's where all the infielders are. So someone's got to figure out who's covering second. Mike Mancini wasn't there, and it would have been bang-bang, but I think that just made it that much harder. Sorrell pushes the envelope, gets it scoring position here. Set the table for Hakopian, Dewar, Partita all coming up.
10th hit for A&M. Trying to get another ball 5 chant going. Not quite. Full count and a swing and a miss by Hakopian. Some rare strikeouts from him tonight. Does have a homer.
Yeah, especially when you're swinging and missing. That is very rare. I heard a little foul tip in there, but still got caught.
Jake Dewar, walk, single, and walk in that order. He's been up 3 times, and he's been on 3 times. So many times you end a series on a Sunday, get some rest on Monday, and then head into a midweek Tuesday game. The Aggies are going to have 3 days after this. The Commodores 2 before you head into midweek action. Ground ball, Dewar. He's thrown out. He'll move over Sorrell to third base.
Well, I got to think nothing's going to go on Sunday for either of these teams. I would think tomorrow is travel day for the Commodores.
That's a good question.
So they'll
get out of here tomorrow.
Yeah, they may be able to jump on their plane and get out of here tonight. So I think they'll get moving around on Monday and probably end up just having a day and a half of extra downtime.
When these two teams hit their midweek on Tuesday, A&M's going to go on the road to Texas State. Vanderbilt will be at home at Hawkins Field against Eastern Kentucky. A&M has played Texas State already this year. a 9-6 win March 17th here at Blue Ball Park. Now they go to San Marcos for the next one. Easy play there. Scoreless in an inning for the first time tonight, the Aggies. College Station, Texas, one of the great college towns in America, and we're at Blue Bell Park, one of the great venues for collegiate baseball. They're loving what they see tonight. Aggies have launched 4 home runs in this one. They're looking to win the series here at Blue Bell against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Will Johnson, Boomer White with you here on SEC Network Plus. Vandy trying to get on the board. Colin Barcy out to start the 6th. Barcy belted those 3 home runs last night, but this one falls right into the glove of Caden Sorrell in center field. He was swinging right away. You think about what Aiden Sims is doing. Last night, Shane Sadeo, the ace of the staff that starts off every weekend, he struggled a bit. You've got time before that series with Texas next week resumes conference play. Is there some thought of tinkering with the weekend rotation?
I don't know enough about strategies and why you would do that, because you think that the best starter goes Friday night. That's always what we've been told in college baseball. Just like usually in game 1 of a playoff series, if you can, you go 1 versus 1. But feels like the Ags really have something going good here on a Sunday with Sims, who's really been lights out for some good teams lately. And
well, that's the thing. You see what Aiden Sims is doing tonight and what he's done for 3 straight series finales right now. Do you really want to disrupt that rhythm?
Maybe, yeah, maybe not. I mean, you know, you're really probably going to get a solid outing from Sims just on a Sunday from his rhythm. So, you know, your best 2 arms are not Friday, Saturday, but you go get a win on one of those, then you have your series winner, your rubber match guy as your best arm going on Sunday. I kind of like that too. And just like in Georgia, even when things didn't go right on Friday, Saturday, you had your guy kind of slamming the door home in game 3. So I don't know. I think you probably got to let it ride.
Chris Maldonado's the hitter, pinch hitter.
And I don't necessarily think it's your best guy that goes Friday. It's your most consistent. Now, this is kind of a topic for another time, but I think sometimes the most electric arms or the most talented pitchers, those aren't always your Friday night guy. It's the guy that's going to give you the best chance to win. And I surely think right now it's Aiden Sims.
And the only reason I bring it up as an option is because you get that extra time after this series. If Aiden Sims had pitched on a Sunday against Vanderbilt, I don't think you can move him up and give him less rest.
Certainly agree.
In the rotation the next week. I think it only becomes a possibility because the Aggies are going to finish this series on a Friday, won't play another conference game until 1 week from tonight.
Yeah. It's exactly the only reason you would consider it, and I certainly think that's a possibility. He's just been dynamite right now, though. He's got these Commodore hitters super uncomfortable, which we haven't seen really an Aggie pitcher do all weekend.
I mean, he's doing this against a team that ripped off a bunch of runs, homers, hits already this weekend, and Sims has just shut him down. So next week, the rivalry series, the Texas Longhorns and the Texas A&M Aggies. Game 1, Friday night on the SEC Network. The Saturday game, April 11th, that'll be 2 o'clock on ESPN2. And then SEC Network Plus for the Sunday game on April 12th at 1 o'clock. Those first two games, you'll hear Tom Hart, Chris Burke, and Kyle Peterson. Boomer and I will be here for the final game. I mean, that is a series that is literally closing in on its 400th matchup. That's going to be a few years before they get there, but you saw 381 times the two have met.
Just think about if there wouldn't have been that Big 12 SEC break.
Well, yeah, there was a hiatus in the series when the Aggies left the Big 12.
They still played here and there.
Well, for a while there wasn't a matchup. Then it returned in 2016 as a midweek. You played in that game, and it was historic. Michael Parrish, the walk-off home run in the return of the rivalry.
But they met
2016. Bender up, flies out.
Lines out, Will. Lines out.
Yeah, give him some credit.
Good swing, good swing.
Give him some credit. Line out.
But they met at Rice in a regional, right?
Yes. There were postseason meetings before it actually came back onto the schedule.
Okay.
As a midweek contest. Yes, there were NCAA tournament meetings.
They kept a little bit of the game going, but nothing like it would be if you met guaranteed 3 times a year.
And then in 2022, you had the A&M Texas meeting in Omaha, Nebraska, at the College World Series. In an elimination game, the Aggies ended the Longhorn season that June.
Go, Alex.
Jorian Wilson triple strikeout and reached on an error. Hit that hard.
110.
Over the head of Logan Johnstone. Jorian Wilson has a triple and now a double.
Jorian Wilson is must-watch TV, in my opinion. I mean, this guy, if it's hit on the barrel, it's triple digits every time. Moves well. Extremely mature approach. Him and Partita, two very talented freshmen that you got to watch every time they come to the plate. Hey, and even when he's not playing, he may play some football when he runs through first base if you're in his way. So he moves well for a big guy. Had a collision with Tommy Gooden a couple innings ago. No one was hurt.
He'll go to third on the wild pitch. Now, we were talking about the difference between A&M at this point last year. Just about halfway through the season, a little past that. A year ago, they actually fell below 500, 13 and 14 at one point. And you look at them, here you are in 2026. This portion of the season, they won 24 of their first 30 games. Trying to close this one out tonight. And the early season struggles were really compounded when the Aggies went to Vanderbilt and got swept last year. It looks so different now. A&M struck out 49 times.
I remember that
in the
series.
Vanderbilt weekend last year.
Did you go? I think
I
you
was
went.
there to watch it. Every inning, it felt like 2 outs, nobody on. Every batter felt like an 0-2 count right away.
Yeah.
I mean, and it looks so different the way they're swinging the bats this weekend against Commodore pitching.
Well, I'll go to my grave saying it was the craziest college baseball season maybe in history for any team last year for the Aggies. It was absolutely unbelievable. But you look back and they just lost so many games they never should have had any business losing. So they were not only like losing to the good teams, but they were just losing to bad teams, getting swept. And yeah, in hindsight, what a difference a year makes in how you're feeling about a baseball team. As ball 5 is ball 6 now is rolling. We got to ball 7 last time. I thought 8 was going to be the loud one.
So Kranzler stops the chant. 1-1 to Kellner.
So infield's in right now. Well, they were in, excuse me.
And then just backed off.
Well, yeah, now that you got a runner, you got a double play opportunity. So middle infielders, they're slightly in. It's kind of, can't remember what we called it, but enough where you may be able to make a play at the plate if you have to, but it's a 9-run game right now. Oh, that's a tough one. Big out there for Kranzler. Gets Kellner with a check swing and maybe even a little bit of a foul tip that was caught by Reynolds. By Vanderbilt going infield in there down 9-0, you got to think that the run rule is in effect in today's game.
Oh, right in the back of Gavin Grahovac. Yeah, it's a conference rule. The run rule is in effect for all conference games. Oh. Oh, and Gavin Grahovac with the stare down and a bit of a bat flip. Telling Alex Kranzler, you can't faze me, my man. All right, bases are loaded. What do you think Caden Sorrell was cutting for there?
Yeah, I think everyone knows where he was looking.
Well, he usually is. I mean,
when he swings at a strike, he's trying to.
Well, we talked to Mike Early before the year, and we've said this a lot this year. Mike Early said he comes to the plate with bad intentions, and he's put a hurting on a few baseballs in 2026. Really in 2025 too, in the short sample size he got to play because of injury. Still at 49 RBIs, Caden Sorrell looking for that 50th.
Yeah, that's where Kranzler's going right now. He's trying to get under the bat of Sorrell. You're going to see Reynolds set up there. He's trying to throw off speed that starts kind of in the middle and drops down and under his bat. Hopes Sorrell swings over the top of it. These good hitters in this A&M lineup want to get extended, so a pitcher wants to tie him up inside if he can. That heater up to 96. I mean, the stuff is there, so you know Grahovac felt that one in his back.
That hit him in a swing and a miss.
I think he got a tip
Did he
on
get
that?
enough of it? Yeah, he got a little bit of it.
Yeah, they're trying to go in on his hands. And you think when Sorrell can hit one to the train tracks, that's not where you'd want to throw him. But Sorrell hits him to the tracks when he gets his hands extended. He catches the ball out front. If you can throw that 96-mile-an-hour fastball or that cutter inside, you can maybe get under the bat or get him jammed up.
A few words from home plate umpire David Savage before the full count pitch. He signals them in, ready to go again. Line drive, right field, base hit. Two more will score. So there's RBI number 50 and 51 for Caden Sorrell. Wilson and Harrison come home.
The power hitting Sorrell, no home runs today, but a double and a single. And look at him just stay on that off speed. Flat swing into right field. That'll fall in just off the end of the bat. Extends that Aggie lead from 9 to 11. And with the bases loaded and the crowd on their feet, bubbles flying, that may have been a swing on its way to getting the Aggies out of here with a run rule if this game holds the way it is.
With a run rule in effect, it means the Aggies would need 3 more outs in the 7th to close this. And that is hammered by Chris Hakopian. Another run will score in Gavin Grahovac. Hakopian, extra bases. Sorrell went to third on all that.
Off speed again. Hakopian just middle, gets the hands out, hooks it down the line. And this is a exclamation point on a great weekend offensively for the Aggies, as they've chewed into this Vanderbilt bullpen and really given them no room for error. Every mistake seems to be punished, as the lead is now to 12, and it's raining bubbles everywhere. It's a very relentless and punishing offense. Both these offenses really are. But when you dig into the bullpen late on a game 3, it's going to be exacerbated more with a good offense.
Boomer, earlier today in game 1 of the doubleheader, it was the picket fence the Aggies built up. It's a bunch of crooked numbers tonight.
Unbelievable. Totally different scoreboard, certainly.
It is now 12 runs on 13 hits for A&M. They've put up a crooked number in every inning except a bit ago in the bottom of the 5th when they were held scoreless. They were 4 for 4 with home runs in the first 4 innings. But as Boomer alluded to here, just good swings that are driving home runs. And the Aggies will look to close this out now on the other side of the break. What a night. Vanderbilt had been ripping the baseball through 2 games here in College Station, and Sims, through 6 innings, has shut him out. And he's going to go back to the mound, Boomer, looking for 3 more outs. And the Aggies hoping for the run rule of Vandy.
Yeah, 93 pitches right now. Sims, I don't know what his season high is in pitch count, but you can see right there through 6 innings, it's pretty efficient. Only 3 knocks, that's extremely efficient.
I believe he's gone over 100 pitches 1 time this season.
But it's just clean. Fastball's 92, maybe 95 at times, but got a couple of walks, I think. Let me try and confirm that. I mean, my scorebook is just so clean and efficient. He's worked through these Vandy hitters. Yeah, just a walk. Leadoff hitter of the game with Mike Mancini, the only walk of the day for Sims. Just seems to have missed barrels. I can only think about maybe 1 hard hit ball this game from this Vanderbilt offense, which seemed impossible based off of games 1 and 2. So Aiden Sims has certainly been a bright spot of this pitching staff. And when the bullpen's been in trouble, which it has been as of late, to have a starter go 6 innings strong like Sims has, certainly a breath of fresh air.
Sims threw 103 pitches on February 22nd against Penn. He is about to match, or just did match, what he did at Missouri last weekend, throwing 97 pitches. Sims, again, he's looking for his 3rd straight SEC win, and he would run his record on the year on the mound to 6-0, all told for 2026. He's dialed up another strikeout.
Man, he must be hiding spin or something, because Brady Holcomb with 11 bombs on the year and hitting as well as he is, just Vanderbilt's just off the baseball with him. I just don't think they're picking it up, and it's making it look like light work from the bump for Aiden Sims, when this Vanderbilt offense has been making mincemeat of pitchers, it seemed, as of lately. Aiden Sims not phased.
So now past 100 pitches as he faces Logan Johnstone.
Oh.
Home plate umpire David Savage. I think he took that one off the mask.
Always looks worse than it is.
Yeah.
You know, the mask rattles and it looks like their head's shaking.
It's just the mask, guys.
Yeah.
Just the mask. Just off the plate. Sims will throw his season high on the number of pitches. And if Sims can close this one out, it would match his longest outing as far as innings pitched. That game I mentioned against Penn on February 22nd. Threw 7 innings against the Quakers to beat them on that day.
A lot of off-speed from Sims. Just able to control it so well. The slider, cutter, and the changeup. It almost seems like it's probably 70–80% of what he's throwing in these late innings.
Johnstone trying to go the other way.
This is Aiden Sims' game, huh?
That's exactly what I was thinking with that picture. Take it the rest of the way. That's what Mike Early and Jason Kelly are telling him. Full count again to Johnstone. And he got him looking.
Just froze him right there with the slider. Johnston fought. And 1 out away, Sims continues to cruise.
2 strikeouts this inning. They need to put 1 more K up there. It's 7 for the game now. I believe it is just now arriving. There it is. Colin Brightwell is the pinch hitter. He came into the game earlier in left field as a defensive replacement. He bats for the first time in this series. One and two, and Sims is a strike away. Bluebell Park will come to its feet. Trying to sweep a Friday doubleheader and claim the series. Two and two. Full count. Brightwell steps back in. Brightwell and the Commodores won't let the Aggies out of it just yet. A walk with 2 outs.
First batter of the game gets walked by Sims and doesn't have a walk since then. And 3-2 count, just walks Brightwell.
Now they do get Ethan Darden up, the left-hander.
I mean, at some point he's at 114, you know.
Yeah.
He's showing no signs of really slowing down, but
well, again, it's a series that closes on a Friday. He's going to have some time to rest after this one.
Certainly.
Runner goes. The Aggies indifferent to that. Brightwell gets to second base, but it's strike 2 on Mac Whitcomb. Whitcomb has one of the 3 Commodore hits. Whitcomb was a pinch hitter in the 5th and delivered a single. Sims shuts out the Commodores in a brilliant performance. The Aggies sweep a doubleheader, and they take the series at home.
Man, I don't know who the bigger star is, Aiden Sims or this Aggie offense. But boy, was that a clean performance from the Aggies here in game 3 of the series, game 2 of the doubleheader. Absolutely electric with the bats. And Aiden Sims, sir, take a bow. What a dominant performance on the mound as he gets a swing and a miss with the slider on the last pitch of the game, and an emotional reaction there we haven't seen much from Sims. Great game all around by Texas A&M. They take 2 or 3 from Vanderbilt. Next series, next weekend, gonna be a fun one as well.
Well, we threw the first pitch at 2:02 p.m. and the last one at 8:56 p.m. Long day of baseball, but a good one for A&M. Our producer was Cogan Davis, our director, Buddy Kimberlin. Thanks to the staff for 12th Man Productions for bringing you this one on the SEC Network. For Boomer White, I'm Will Johnson. Goodbye from College Station. The Aggies sweep a doubleheader and win the series.